Well, hello and welcome to another episode of the Yinning at Life podcast. I'm your host, Kimberley Roberts of SolefulYin, and I'm here to dish out all things about traditional Chinese medicine, Yin Yoga, Acupressure, Reflexology, and of course, mindset shifting. So welcome to today's episode. So I'm sitting here and it's a pretty crappy day here in Ottawa. It's raining, it's damp. And for November, really, this is odd. But I was thinking how nice it is to pause, to just pause. And I'll tell you, in our culture, in our society, the way that we are living our life now, we are not taking enough time to pause. Like literally, we are like little tiny hamsters on a wheel, just going round and around and around over and over and over again all day long on repeat, 365, 24/7. And I reflected back on the days, and this might be dating myself a little bit, but who here remembers the days where on Sundays everything was closed except the gas station or the odd convenience store, but the malls, the grocery stores, all of that was closed on Sundays. And it was it forced you to pause. It really did. It was your invitation to be like, okay, well, nothing's open, so let me just take a break. Who would like to go back to that? I personally, I love to honor self-care Sundays. So sometimes for me, that's an extended yin yoga and meditation practice, a little bit of reflexology or some acupressure. Sometimes it's I give myself a spa treatment at home, like a facial or body scrub or something, or I'll just go and rest and do a long yin yoga nidra session to just be in that element of pause where, you know what, I don't have to do anything here. I can just relax. I can give myself permission to pause. And I think that when we don't give ourselves the permission, we literally don't even say, you know what, I can pause here. I have permission to pause. It's my life. I think if we don't say those words, the actions don't follow. We don't pause. Or sometimes we're waiting for an external circumstance to force us to pause. And sometimes that looks like an illness or an injury, or maybe it's literally somebody saying, hey, you really are stressed out. You need to pause. You need to take a fucking break. It's oh, yeah, you know what? You're actually right about that. I've kind of been burning the candle at both ends, and I didn't really realize it. And I'll tell you that that's how we live most of our life. Waiting either for someone to give us permission to pause, to take a break, or we end up in a situation where it's we're forced to. And I'll tell you, when it's forced upon you, it's happening for your own good. Because I will tell you, the universe is always listening. And your vibration, your energy that you put out into this world gets mirrored back to you. So if you continuously put out an energy of push, force, I've got to do, then guess what you're going to get back? More of that, more opportunities to push yourself, to do, to force. And while we do live in a culture and in a society where we've got to get shit done, right? But that doesn't mean that there can't be the balance of that yang energy of doing with the soft energy of receiving, of surrendering, of letting go, of pausing. Because without the pause, which is basically the yin, then we're only in yang. And if you know anything, everything is made up of yin and yang. And so we are too. And our body and our nervous system and even our mind craves the duality of the yin and the yang. Because if we're too much in one or too much in the other, guess what happens? We burn out, right? There's no balance. So if you're sitting here and you're thinking, yeah, I kind of think I've maybe been pushing myself too much. Just tap into your body and notice how your body feels. Because if your body feels tight, restricted, if your breath is like super shallow, if your mind is like a constant rattling of thoughts, then you know what? That's a clear sign that you need to pause. You need to take a break. And that break doesn't have to be super long. Like, I hear from my patients and from my students all the time, I don't have an hour. You don't need an hour. Well, I don't even have half an hour. You don't need half an hour. You need 5 minutes. Do you know that 5 minutes of pausing every day, just one time in a day for 5 minutes, can make such a profound transformation in your body and in your mind and your nervous system? If you need to, set a reminder on your device to come up. Pause. Bing. Okay, let me take 5 minutes. And I'll tell you, if you do not have 5 minutes in your day to pause, then I'm going to give you a little bit of tough love here. You better really look at your life. Because if you can't find 5 minutes, something seriously needs to fucking shift in your life. 5 minutes here. I'm not asking you for 15 or 30 or an hour or 2 hours. But if you can't find 5 minutes in your day to pause and to just breathe, then something needs to change. And you know what? I'm sure you're sitting here and you might be thinking, yeah, but you know what? I'm busy. You might not be as busy as I am. Trust me, we're all busy. We're all busy. This is life. But here's the thing. Only you have control over your life. I can tell you to pause all day long, but you know what? It's up to you to decide. So how much do you prioritize and value your health and your well-being? If you do, you will take 5 minutes. It's only 5 minutes. And I'll tell you, when you start to take those 5 minutes every single day, eventually you'll be like, oh, I want more. I want 7 minutes now. I want 10 minutes now. I want 20 minutes. I want an hour. But start with 5 minutes so it doesn't overwhelm you. 5 minutes could be close my eyes, take breaths. 5 minutes could be get on my yoga mat, do a Yin Yoga pose. 5 minutes could be contemplative meditation. 5 minutes could be journaling. 5 minutes could be going for a walk. 5 minutes could just be closing your eyes and putting your devices down. There are so many ways that you can pause for 5 minutes. Do you not think that your life is worth a 5-minute pause every day? I believe your life is worth a 5-minute pause every day. So if you need permission to pause, this is it. This is your permission to pause today. And maybe that means you come back to this podcast episode every single day, and maybe that's your mindful reminder to pause. I don't care what it is. It could be a yin pose, it could be breath work, it could be going for a walk, it could be staring out your window into space, whatever it is. Just take the time every single day and pause. Not only will your body love it, your mind will, and most importantly, your nervous system. So thanks so much for pressing play on today's episode.